Ladies and gentlemen, Foo Fighters.
Brand new song, another one they dropped from the new album. This is called Under You. And, of course, we've been playing Rescued for a while. I'm sure we're playing Under You. I think Stansbury played it earlier. The new album is called But Here We Are. They're first after Taylor Hawkins' death. That is out 2 weeks from tomorrow. June 2 is when that new Foo Fighters come out. And they have also announced a global live stream event.
Been there, done that.
You know how I love the global live stream events. They're doing a free streaming thing that's going to be the first time they've played some of these songs live. There's going to be some behind-the-scenes stuff. Streaming at 5 a.m. You got to buy a ticket for it, too. But if you're excited for the Foo Fighters and you know they're doing every festival known to man this summer, so your opportunities to see them live are myriad. So in January, they go, we're not only are we not breaking up, we're going to have a new drummer. And so during this global live stream event is when they will be announcing who is replacing Taylor Hawkins. And FanDuel odds have got Josh Freese in the mix. I would love to see him in there. Matt Cameron, who's also behind the drums for Pearl Jam, but he's not averse to pulling double duty. And they're going to be doing some of their own headlining shows. They're taking the Breeders out with them. So I don't know. We'll find out. But they're going to be announcing part of this live stream event.
Like Cannonball?
I'm sorry?
Those Breeders?
Oh, yeah. Nice. Kim Deal and the Breeders. The pride of Dayton, Ohio. And they will tell everyone who. I think initially people were like, maybe they're training Taylor's kid. But he's so young.
He's so young, yeah.
Yeah.
How young?
He's like
15.
16.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's really young.
So they will be announcing that on Sunday. If you want to take part in that global live stream event. Very exciting. Guardians are in Chicago trying to avoid the sweep. Unbelievably, even though they're my team. Unbelievably, the White Sox have beat the Guardians twice in a row. It was 8-3, 7-2 last night. End of the fifth, it is 1 run apiece. So this would be good for the White Sox to pull that sweep off. But the Guardians are hoping to avoid it. So that's the end of that series. Guardians will go on to play the Mets tomorrow night. Justin Verlander and the Mets. 7:10 is the first pitch tomorrow night. 6:35 will start your pregame. And then they'll be back here at the beginning of next week to host the White Sox. I'll have tickets for you for next Wednesday's game in about a half an hour. Let me introduce you to the Boot Girls. Have you seen the Boot Girls?
Nope.
I was hoping that they meant boot in the old school vomiting sense, but no, nothing that fun.
Just big-ass boots?
No, these are girls that will charge $50 to get the boot off of your car, the big yellow thing that they got. I don't know if they're running around with a chainsaw or what, but they call themselves Boot Girls because they want to stay anonymous. This is in Atlanta. So our bureau chiefs there in the great state of Georgia, fine city of Hotlanta, they're charging people $50 to get the boots. Boy, that seems cheap.
Mm-hmm.
Boot Baby and Boot Shiesty are the Boot Girls. And they have to dodge like meter maids and parking enforcement officers the whole time.
You can't do it.
You can't
do it, man.
You're finna step on her foot.
I'm not stepping on your foot. You can't do it.
You need to go, like, for real.
No, you can't do this.
You're mad.
No, you cannot take this off, ma'am.
Who's mad?
No.
It's legal. Like,
It's not.
yes,
It's not
it
legal.
is.
It's not legal.
What's wrong with you? Hurry up. You can go.
I love them. They have ball caps on and like bandanas over their face. And they have whatever the tools are, they get boots off of cars. And so they're fighting the parking enforcement industry there in Atlanta. And they've gotten about 85,000 followers on Instagram and TikTok. And they're the Boot Girls. Because you figure, let's say you've got a pretty expensive ride, but you can't read a parking sign. Or you've ignored it because you're like, look, you know, we've talked about this before. People go, oh, I don't pay my parking tickets. I ignore those. Well, you'll end up with a boot. You ever had a boot on your car?
No.
Oh, God. When I moved
No.
back to Chicago, I was so goddamn poor. I had I was getting divorced. I had no money at all. And I was paying parking tickets or trying to. My car got towed like twice in 3 days. And I ended up with a boot on my car. It just sucks. If I'd had one of these things, I would have kept it in my trunk. Boot Baby wears the black balaclava and Boot Shiesty in pink. And is it legal? It sure doesn't sound like it. If you were to hit up, they charge $50 a day. If you hit up the city, they'll charge you $75 or $80. So they're just undercutting what the city will already do. They're like, hey, why pay them $80 when you can give me $50 and we'll cut it off?
And they're not even cutting it. They're
Taking it off.
They're just taking it off. They're not destroying them.
Nope.
That's why I think when they get in serious trouble if they're destroying property, but they're just removing them.
Well, but also, these two probably went online and just
Found it.
bought a couple
Yeah.
of boot keys.
Yep.
That can't be hard. You can get anything you want anywhere now.
Why doesn't everybody do that then?
You probably could.
Probably expensive. He's saying, why doesn't everybody do it? Or it's not something they run into that they need.
Mm-hmm.
How often you get in a boot that you want to buy a key for?
I don't know.
You know?
There's a lot of people getting booted.
So they had a friend apparently who had a boot key, and then they just decided to buy their own. Ever since then, we just went on our bull shrimp boot chase, he said. I love these girls.
Oh, my God.
They previously worked as beauticians. That explains the batwing eyelashes. And they average 40 a day.
Damn.
That's what I'm saying. There's a lot of people getting booted.
In Atlanta.
In Atlanta. Especially, there's no way to know what 40 times 50 is. But that's what they're raking in on average per day.
Damn,
It's
that's good
$2
money.
billion.
$2
I did the
billion?
math I did the math
Wow,
in my head,
in
yeah.
your head. You are
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
$2 billion a
Instant
day.
billionaires.
Hey, they're killing it.
I'll tell you what, Boot Baby and Boot Shiesty, they're living the dream. It's just a blessing, honestly. I like how people attribute things that they did to God. It's a blessing, really. I mean, God,
Especially if it's a
you
crime.
bought boot keys
Yeah.
on the internet. It's like when a doctor saves your child's life. We just gave it up to God. Not the doctor. Why don't you go thank the doctor?
Oh, well, that's one thing that they'd always have these stories when I was a kid, as like Mormons would be like, "Oh, the doctor said there was no chance that this woman could conceive, and then she got pregnant after she prayed and blah blah blah." I'm like, "Do you think maybe the doctor just didn't do a good job? Like, there's a chance that doctor just either mixed up someone's test results or didn't actually, do a thorough follow up or whatever, and maybe she could have a baby the whole time." Maybe that was it.
Every med school class has somebody who graduates dead last.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
So these two girls are running around doing this in Atlanta. They have a lawyer, and their lawyer says, we consider what the city is doing piracy because they're seizing your property and you're not getting it back until you give them money, and you really don't have any other recourse. So these girls are running around in their jeans, ball caps, balaclavas, and they're taking these boots off. I don't know how you get to them. I don't know if you DM them on Instagram or
They have phone numbers on their cars. They leave their
booty
they-
everywhere.
Yeah, They leave a card on the windshield and they call that number and you go get them, or it's on their Instagram.
Well, because here's the thing. It's whatever city you live in, it's really lucrative for the city because it costs a lot of money to have a boot removed. Or it can, potentially. Because by that time, you got the boot because you're way behind in parking tickets. So they don't put a boot on you if you haven't paid a couple of tickets. By the time you get the boot, you're like $500 in. And so these girls, they're like vigilantes. I love it.
I missed it.
Boot man.
If you guys said it, but when you have a parking ticket, it doesn't, you don't have interest on that, right?
No, you just got to pay it.
Okay. I didn't know if
But I mean, if you let them pile up,
yeah, I
A, you're
understand.
in for a lot of money. B, they can suspend all manner of things.
I didn't know if there was late fees or something like that, because that would suck. Because when you get a ticket from an actual officer,
Yeah, I
it
don't know
says
about that.
you got to pay it by this date, or you have a warrant. I'm like, well, what if I don't pay it and you don't come find me?
Well, I think the amount goes up. Like they're like, pay it by this and it's this much, pay it by this and it's this much. But after that, like it's a free for all. I think they tell you this last ticket I got about a month ago or something. They're like, if you pay it by this time, it's this. If you pay it after this, it's this. And then it's a whole court situation.
That's the sound of the police.
The Boot Girls may end up helping to shape Georgia law because a couple of state senators have introduced a bill to ban booting in the state. And so now that's going to cut into the Boot Girls' revenue. There are 100,000 boots placed in the state of Georgia every year.
That is so much.
So they're charging you to give you your own property back.
That's insane.
Pretty wild.
100,000 boots. Damn, people broke.
But also more and more people are just going to go buy boot keys and they're going to cut into these girls, you know. So they also need to take some of that revenue they're making and go out and assassinate other people with boot keys.
Oh my
That's the
God.
only way I see this working out for them. All right. I mean their character,
Boot wars.
not them. Hey, Eric,
Hello, sir.
what's going on?
Hate the show.
Thank
Hate
you.
the show.
Thank you, sir.
So I used to live on Waveland Avenue. I'm sure you know where that is.
Waveland and what?
Chicago.
Waveland
Chicago.
and what?
Right by the lake. I mean, the golf course was right there. I could walk down to Wrigley and watch the game for $10. Sit out in the bleachers. But
You were over on Pine
I had
Grove, or where
a-
were you?
I was Waveland 3, right off of the LSD.
So like Pine Grove.
Yeah, ish.
Okay, gotcha.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so there was. It's a funny thing because you know how when you live in the city, you have to drive around and find a parking spot, and once you find it, you park there for the rest of the weekend. There was this vehicle on the corner blocking the sidewalk. I kid you not, it had 100 stickers of false park, the parking violations,
Yeah.
2 boots on it, and it never moved. And I was like, and they never towed it. Just sat there. It looked like if you just put stickums on the vehicle. I'm not joking, dude. All over the windows.
Well, if they end up towing it, you're only going to gain a parking spot, and the city's going to lose all that revenue. So, you know.
But they're never going to gain that revenue. Because
I
that
think
person obviously
the chance, yeah, the
isn't coming
chances,
back.
the chances are slim. But the body was probably in the trunk the whole time.
That's what I'm saying, man.
Right.
There was, I was there for like a year. It never moved, and it was all over. No one's moving that vehicle.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Eric. There's Eric in Stowe, former Chicago resident. Hey, Bill.
Hey.
Hey, Al.
The other Bill.
How you
The
doing,
bill on the phone, Bill.
phone bill.
Phone bill.
Hi.
I paid it.
Hi.
No, the bill on the phone. Bill in Lakewood. Wait,
Oh,
you're
I
a
live
Bill in Lakewood.
I'm Bill in Lakewood, but right now
Wait,
I'm in
wait,
Cleveland.
I'm confused. So Bill in Lakewood's on the phone. Bill in Lakewood's in here, but we're in Cleveland.
Yeah.
Okay. Bill in Lakewood. Hello.
Hello.
No, the other Bill.
I'm really confused. Oh, hi, Bill.
Hi, Bill. I don't know why Alan's so bad at this. We've been doing this forever.
I don't. I can't keep track.
Just don't send me a bill. Hey.
Hey.
I hate to say it, but I'm on the other end of this stuff. It's all about personal property and owning stuff. So the boot girls don't own that, and when you're doing stuff like that, it's I don't know, felony or something. Same thing with everyone's in love with graffiti, expression of art. That's not your building that you're illegally tagging. Yeah, it's cool, but it's not your building. So
Well, nobody's saying it's their
could be arrested
property.
for
I mean,
that.
that's why you're in a legal, weird spot there. I mean, that's why these girls are wearing masks and ball caps. They're not saying these boots are
Right.
ours or this building is ours. I mean, that's why taggers
But
are
you
out under
can't-
cover of moonlight, you know?
but like I can't come in and borrow your microphone, Al. It's yours.
Well,
But
Bill,
if he
Even
called
though-
you and paid you $50 to borrow it, that's different.
it's my weapon of choice. You wouldn't know what to do with it.
True, but in the strict sense, you can't. You got to pay your parking tickets. You got to not graffiti buildings. You can't be the boot girls touching stuff that's not yours legally.
Listen,
Sounds like fun, though.
I hear you,
I'm that
Bill.
guy.
Theoretically, we are a nation of laws, but you look around and it seems less and less likely that people are all on board.
Yes, it's starting the what do you call that? Destruction of civilization. How's that for
Entropy. I love
conspiracy
entropy.
Yes, once you start not following laws, where does it end, Al?
I love it.
Yeah, Al.
Well-
Okay, listen, thank you. There's Bill in Lakewood, not the Bill that's in here. He won't be Bill in Lakewood until around 7 o'clock tonight.
Right.
Will you go home after the show today?
Yeah, I'll go home for a little bit, and then I'm going to go to
Will you
High and
ask your
Dry.
girlfriend if she's on her period again?
No, I already know she is. But then we're going to go to High and Dry.
Oh.
And then we're going to go to Pance's new bar afterwards.
Oh.
Because we're off tomorrow, so we're going to have a little date night type thing.
Nice. Go get some sexy drinks. Okay. Yeah, well, anyway, these, if you want to follow the Boot Girls, I mean, even if you don't live in Atlanta, you know, why not have some fun on social media? There's so much negativity on social media. Let's have a little bit of fun. Now they bought the keys from a local company that makes them. Atlanta is one of the few cities that allows private companies to boot cars on private property. I don't think they're removing boots on the street. Well, yeah, okay. Alan Funny Bus was awesome. Bill was lovely as always.
Well, thank you so much.
Alan, I was working downtown. I parked in the wrong parking lot, and I had a boot on my car by lunchtime. And I didn't owe any parking tickets. It was $240 to get it removed.
Sheesh.
Holy mackerel. Well, Bill, my girlfriend isn't on her period, but she should be. Uh-oh.
Oh,
Ho, ho, ho.
you gonna
I
be a
get it.
daddy.
Oh, my
I
God.
be pregonate? How do I know if I'm prengan? What is the best time to sex to become pregnant?
Yep. That's why Homeboy's shooting blanks right now. Beautiful. Oh, what a feeling. I still can't believe I waited so long to get snipped.
Yeah, we all been telling you that for years.
I know you have.
Condoms aren't even a big deal.
they're not.
But it's just the
They're
condom.
not.
This guy.
But listen,